Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back, and today we're working in the to-do box. That's what's come up this week. So I pulled out a few bits from my box, things that I've just cut up and put in. These are some large envelopes that I've cut down. This is a book page pocket that I've just put together. Needs gluing, I think, but we can finish that off. And a couple of pieces of scrapbook paper. They're quite thick. I think these are, what do you call it? No, not 49 market. I'm not sure. But quite thick scrapbook papers. And they don't need backing, but they do need a bit of decorating. I thought they might go with what I'm working with today, because now that we've started work on our 1950s journal, I'll be probably making most of the ephemera for that during those videos. And I have got quite a lot already, but there will be some more to make. So I thought we'd start making some things for future journals that I have in mind. I have a couple where I've got the kits, and if you can hear a little noise in the background, that's my printer. She's printing away for me at the moment. She's a bit of a diva, my printer, and sometimes when I work her too hard, she gives up the ghost and says, no, I'm not doing any more for today. So while she's on a roll, I'm letting her go, so you can maybe hear it a little bit in the background, but she's still printing off one of the kits, because the two kits I've put together for for both of the journals actually, that I have in mind for future are massive, and I probably have enough paper to make several journals from each of them. So I'll quickly show you what I'm working with today, and I think perhaps next week we'll do a bit for the other journal. So there's, which you've already talked about, the other journal is an owl journal, although it has developed into something else, because I found another kit and put together, and it makes a slightly different journal, not just an owl journal. But I'll talk about that next week. This week I'm going to work with a couple of, several kits actually, but I've got this kit from RubyandPearlxo called Billet Doux. It's one they've been using recently in their big collaboration, their 100-day collaboration. And that's what you can hear. I'm still printing papers from that. It's a massive kit. All her kits are. And she usually has like a paper kit, a journal pages kit, an ephemera kit. She's got like 4 or 5 kits that you can buy individually or as a group. So I think I've got 3 of the kits. Anyway, I've got the backing papers, the ephemera, and the journal pages. So I've printed some of it off. I've still got loads to print, and there's loads of freebies that come with it as well. So I'm busily trying to print those off. But I always like, as you probably know if you've watched my channel for any length of time, and if you have, welcome. I'm glad you're still with me, and welcome actually to some new subscribers. I've had quite a few new subscribers recently, and you've taken me over the 1500 mark, which has been, something that's been a long time coming. So thank you very much for taking me over that mark, and do stay with me. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, so I hope you are too. So what I usually like to do is I have one kit, gives me an inspiration of what I want to do, and then I like to find another kit or even a couple of kits to enhance it, go with it. So it's not all based around one kit, and they're not usually from the same maker either. This one is the RubyandPearlxo, and I have found a medieval Mirage kit. I've been using quite a few of her kits lately. I think goes with it very well. Her kit is, sorry, get me your brain straight. The medieval Mirage kit is called Antique Letters, Ledger and Ladies, and this is volume 2. As you see, it's got a lot of pink, roses, soft colours, a little bit of blue. Yeah, really, really pretty, quite antique-y looking. And I think it goes really well with this RubyandPearlxo Billet Doux, which is love letters in English. Which of course is pretty obvious, and so it's a similar theme about letters and writing, and also I think the colours really go well with the medieval Mirage kit. So, and it just lends a bit of variety to what I'm doing. I don't like to concentrate on just one kit and have it all look very similar. I like to mix and match. And so so these are what they call the title pages. So this is the journal pages title page. This is the backgrounds title page. And I've got the vintage ephemera title page. So it just gives you an idea of the look. And I think it goes really well with this medieval Mirage kit. And there's lots of pictures of ladies writing letters, presumably love letters. Ladies writing letters. This one, my ink was running out, so the colours have gone a bit funky, but actually I don't mind them. So I've got a few of those. There's a few sort of antique ephemera papers like this. There's all sorts in here. So I'm just going to pop that back, try and keep it organised as best I can. So these I'll be using to decorate my ephemera pieces. And on top of that, I already had, and I've been busily cutting out as well, this other kit I've had for a while. Nothing to do with these journals, but actually go really well. This is a Ruby and Pearl kit called Book Club Ladies of Letters. So of course we've got love letters and we've got ladies of letters. Most of them are either reading a book or reading a letter or something similar, but they've all got a very similar look to the ephemera that comes with the billet-doux kit. So I'm thinking, well, I'll use those as well. So yeah, I've got, let's see, this massive pile, and I haven't finished printing yet. So loads to work with. And in fact, it's when you start off with something like this, it's quite daunting to know where to start, really. Just because I'm a bit reluctant to start tearing into them, but I'm going to do that today. And I'm going to start, I think, with some of this paper from the medieval Mirage kit. It's so pretty, but I thought if I could just pick out, because I don't know what pages I'm going to use for the journal, for my actual journal papers, but there's quite a few background style papers that are just more plain that I could try and pick out if I can find a couple. I haven't sort of pulled them out properly yet. So let's see if I can find some that are pretty but haven't really got any specific images on them. So we've got this one, just roses. This one, that's really pretty. And this is another one here. Another lovely one, look at that. Isn't that lovely? And this one perhaps. Oh, I've got a whole bunch here. That should get me started, shouldn't it? So, yeah, now these can be used to back the main ones, but until I choose which papers I'm going to use for the journal when it finally gets started, I won't really know which ones to back. Here's another one here. So, yeah, got a nice little selection of papers there, and I might just grab some of those ones I've just printed from the other kit. These are from the billet-doux, but perhaps not so much that one, but I think, look at the colours, they go so well together. I mean, it's like it was meant to be. The colours are just so well coordinated. I just think it's match made in heaven, these two kits, even though from completely different creators. But that's the joy. Putting things together that you didn't think were meant to be together, but they're perfect. So I'm going to start by covering this. So this is just a piece of a large envelope that I just cut at an angle, and this one can be slotted in. I think Rachel makes a lot of these. Let me see if I've got oops, no, a whole bunch fell out. so this is the journal page. I'm sure you've seen this done before. And this just slides in here. And you've got two nice tucks. And you can actually, what she often does is not actually slide it right in, so this works as a bit of a tab. So as it's not wanting to go right in at the moment, so I can do it either way. But there we are. So I'm going to decorate that. That's going to be my first job. So let's see what papers we can use here. What do I fancy? So hard to know. Well, I do love this. I like that bit. So it's very tempting just to cover the whole thing with this, you know, because it's just so pretty. Let's just... Okay, let's get my ruler. How far across shall I do it? I'm going to tear it down here. So I hope you're all well. We're all doing well here so far. Both my youngest daughter and her family, they all had tummy bugs last week. Started with the little one, of course, and he passed it on to his parents, but they're all well now. My other little family, they're off on their holidays because it's the Easter holidays, so they've gone to the seaside for a few days, which would be lovely. We're getting a few pictures of them having a wonderful time on the, I think they're somewhere in the Norfolk coast. I'm hoping the weather's not too, but it's really turned this week. Well, today it's turned, it's quite chilly, a bit wet. So I hope I'm sure they've got plenty to do because I think they're in like a holiday camp sort of place. So hopefully they'll be having lots of fun anyway. So I'm going to put that right to the top, and then I might put something across the bottom here. And then I'm just going to, where did that go? Tear that, nope. Tear that there, I think. So I can just wrap it around the edge of the pocket. Hope that works. Might lift it up and put it around the top as well, just to reinforce those edges. Does that work? So if I fold it like that. And then might glue that down first and then fold it afterwards. That might be better, otherwise I'll probably fold it in the wrong place. Sorry, I've got a bit of a croaky throat. A friend told me that it's quite a common thing for people with autoimmune conditions to actually get that kind of croaky throat business. I'd never heard of that because, as you probably know, I'm always clearing my throat, but I didn't realise it might actually be as a result of my rheumatoid arthritis. That's actually, who thought that? I mean, I wouldn't have thought that. That actually that can be part of the condition, that you get this kind of, I don't know, dry throat, croaky throat stuff. It's a new one on me, but my friend knows a lot of these things. She's quite cut up on all this because her daughter has lots of autoimmune issues. So I think she's been learning a lot about the different symptoms that you can get. Right, I'm going to glue this on now, I think. Yeah. Not going to glue right to the edge. Oh no, I'm going to fold it over, aren't I? So yes, I do need to. These things are always a little bit challenging, a little bit fiddly, but I think it looks better to have that edge folded over and reinforced than have it cut off. It just looks nicer. if I can get it to go round in the right place. That's always the tricky part. Ooh, big blob of glue or something there. No, a bit of paper stuck to it. So, go right up as far as I can to the edge. Hold this over. And then I might just, where's me scissors, just kind of miter this a little bit here. And turn that over. See how that looks. Okay. I didn't quite turn that over in the right spot, but I'll just ink over it a bit more. It'll be fine. Along that edge. And then we need something across the bottom here. I do a piece of this. Might just, I could do it that way. I might just tear a piece off there. Always feels it feels a bit wrong to stop tearing into these lovely big sheets just for a little tiny piece. But once you start using them, then you don't feel so bad about tearing into them again, do you? Whoops. And I'll just tear another bit here, I think. Let's I think I'm a bit, it's just a little bit bigger than I want, really. I'm just going to tear that down a bit. Don't really like it too straight anyway. And I think I'll put something here. Is that looking? Should have kept this bit straight, shouldn't I? I'll have to trim it because it's. Shouldn't have torn it like that both sides. I should have kept one straight edge. But I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to ink the edge of this at the top. And then, yep, I'm going to glue that down. I haven't quite left enough to wrap around there, but I think I might put another something on this corner anyway. Not sure what at the moment. Right, gathering a few little scraps, so I shall keep all those scraps together. And I will be probably doing some collage masterboards or something with these papers, because I like doing it, and it's quite nice to, and it'll be a good way to mix the two kits together. Goes on there like that. So I'm just going to trim off this bit here. And this bit as well. And let's have a piece of something out my box. A piece of Italian, I think. I know a lot of this is, particularly the Billet Doux kit, it's all about French ephemera, but I don't really have any, so I'm using Italian because that's what I have. I might just pop that there. Yeah, like that. Don't want that quite as straight as that though, do I? And then I'm just going to put it on that corner. That doesn't need to be inked because it's going to wrap around. If I can just bring that down a little bit. Oh, right, I managed to have a little tiny bit showing there and a little tiny bit showing there, and this doesn't cover either of them, so I'm just going to put that there, I think. Okay. We'll figure it out. There will probably, well, there'll almost definitely be some lace and stuff going on here anyway, so we'll cover that. Okay, that can go there. I'm liking that, and I'm just going to wrap that around this pocket, this edge. Okie dokie. So that's nice, that's a good start. We'll just do the other side and then we'll decorate. I don't know how many things we'll get done today. We'll probably only get the 2 envelope bits done if I decorate them up as I go. But then we've got finished pieces then, haven't we? And just ink along that edge. Okay. So that's one side, and then we'll turn it over and we'll do the other side with something different. So let's just get that to one side. What can we use? This is very nice. This is from the Rach and Bella Crafts Billet Doux. So I'm going to, where are we? I'm going to use my other tear ruler. Tear a piece of this. So there-ish. And then we've got, oh yes, we've got this lovely piece from the Medieval Mirage kit. So I will link all the kits below that I'm using for these. I mean, I'll do that when I start the journals anyway, but if you're interested in the kits before then, because it'll be a little while before I actually start making them. I mean, I'm always wanting to make the next one. As soon as I start one, I've got my head round thinking around the next one I want to do. It's just the way it is. I see another kit and I think, oh yeah, I want to do that, I might just tuck that in, I think. Tuck that in there. And where's my little pencil? Just gonna trim that off, give that a straight edge. Actually, I want to get down a bit more. Right, so we'll have that, and we can have that. I'll do the same. Oh, I need to wrap this around, don't I? So fold that there. I'm not going to wrap this around and fold it in advance because I didn't fold it in the place that I eventually wrapped it. I wish I would learn my lesson on that, because that always happens. So, got this pretty piece here, and we've got a bit of that. I want something a bit contrasting. I think I would like some more of this Italian. Is that going to fit? Not quite long enough, is it? No. I think I need a bigger bit, or a longer bit. Is this bit? This might be all right. Yep, that's going to work. And pop that in here, I think. I'll do that on that side. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to... Where's my... There it is. I think I'll have it on that side and I'll just tear this. Give it that torn look. Alright. And then we're there. That one. Okie dokie. So I will put this on first, I think. Yep. Oop. Make sure I don't put it too... That's it. Don't want it too far over that way and then leave a gap. So we're going to wrap that around. And at the top as well. There we are. Nicely reinforced. Just going to ink along this top edge. Don't need to ink it all the way down because that's going to be hidden behind the other piece. And I don't need to ink that because that's going to be wrapped around. Okay. So I think when I was doing my video on for Wednesday, my 50s journal, I didn't actually update you on our Arlo sleepover, did I? Because I think I told you in the previous video that we were going to have him to stay overnight for the first time ever. But I didn't tell you how it went, did I? So it went really well. That's all I can say. His daddy dropped him off about 4 o'clock-ish. And yeah, we took him out and up the road. We've got a little park nearby. It's just ideal for his age. And then I realised by the time we got there, because our neighbours were over the road, they were doing, I don't know if I mentioned this, their viewing of the blossom tree, which I've got a lovely view of. Is that upside down? I don't know. No, I don't think so. Yes, there's a beautiful cherry blossom tree just opposite my window. Two big, massive blossom trees. And every year, it's like a Japanese tradition, and our neighbour used to live in Japan with her then husband, and so it's been a bit of a tradition apparently for the last few years that every year when the cherry blossom comes out into bloom, they have a bit of a picnic under the trees and invite anybody who's passing to join them. And they go around and invite them, you know, let all the neighbours know that's what they're planning to do, which they had done the day before. And then they dispense tea, coffee, cake to anybody who wants to join. People can bring their own and contribute to it. And it's a really nice tradition, actually. It's really very friendly. Everybody just sits and chats and brings their own chairs, and everybody. And they, a neighbour over there, she will accost passing strangers and say, "Do you want to come and have a cup of tea with us?" It's just, I think it's just a Japanese tradition that she's embraced, even though she's no longer married to the Japanese man. So yeah, so we went and joined them. Arlo was very sociable, sat on his chair, sat on the bench with me, and had a strawberry that she gave him. Met the dog. I was very excited to meet the dog. And then we went off to the park, brought him back, gave him some tea, and he went to bed. Such a good boy. Because we really weren't sure how he would be, whether he'd be different at night time. He's always very good when we have him during the day for his naps, but would he react differently to being here at night? And his mummy and daddy not being here, particularly his mummy. And I think we were a bit worried if he woke up in the night and she wasn't here, how he would react to that. Well, he stirred in the night quite a few times. We heard him. He made little noises, so we kept waking up. And, well, I didn't really sleep that well because we had the monitor, so I heard him make little cries out every now and again, but didn't wake up. So there we are. That's covered. So actually, in the end, we had to go and wake him up about 7:30. They said, don't let him go beyond 7:30. Just trim that a little bit. I think that's just a little bit over. So we did. We woke him up. And he woke up so happy. Such a good boy. He was perfectly happy to see us. And yeah, we got him up, and while we were giving him his breakfast, his mummy turned up to collect him. Oh, he was so pleased to see her. But it wasn't as if he'd been upset or anything without her there. But when she did turn up, oh, she got the best cuddles. So no, it was lovely. It was a real success. I think it made them feel a lot better about when they've got to go away and leave him, just for one night. And then, right, so I think that's all done. I love that. Then, so what comes next? Now I've got to find some sort of focal point and dress it up. I'm going to take my cardigan off again. Keep getting warm and then I cool off. It's a funny old day. So did I tell you about that? Or maybe I've told you all this already. I can't remember. I'm really sorry if I've already told you this story, because I can't remember what I've said in videos sometimes and what I haven't. And I probably haven't told you because we did it last night. What day is it? I'm losing track of my days. Today's Tuesday. So last night we went and collected him with her from his nursery. So we knew where to go and they knew us and we knew what to do. Because that's all going to be part of the deal. We'd pick him up from nursery, bring him home, and then we take him back the next day. Okay, enough of that story. I'm hoping I haven't told you twice the same things. I'm just going to have a look at some of these ladies that I've got. Now the Ruby and Pearl ladies of letters, I've been cutting those out for weeks. Usually do it at Craft Club. So I've got them all in this little, or most of them now, in this little booklet that I've made specially. So I would like to see if I can find a nice image to go in here. I know that's too big. She's a possibility. She's rather nice, isn't she? They're all lovely. She might be blending in a little bit, maybe on there. Not quite, no. It's going to be difficult to choose now. Just reinforce that bit of glue. It's just coming away on the corner there. Quite liking her there. Cut it down. This side, what shall we have? Sorry, I'll just move everything out of the way a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I can see what I'm doing as well. Not quite that one, no. Some of them are quite big and the wrong colours. That might be quite nice. I could take that down a little bit. I've got a couple of those. Don't have another one somewhere else. What about this one? I think she almost blends in too much, does she? Always hard to choose. I like this one as well. Sitting by a window. Which one shall I choose? I think I like her. I do like her as well. Just thinking she's possibly blending in a bit too much. Right. I am going to go with that one. Now I've got to try and put these back. I don't think it matters where they go really. Okay, enough. Can't keep going through them. I think that will be fine. I think I'm going to tear that down a little bit. It's just a little bit bigger than I need. And around those corners as well. Not with that one. No, that one's already torn a little bit rounded, so that's fine. I might put a bit of music behind her. Yep, like that. Don't like this big gap though. Maybe I'll bring her up a bit. And then I've got a big gap here, haven't I? Ugh. Okay, we'll have something else perhaps behind as well. Oh, got this little scrap here. Could pop that behind there just to, oh yeah, a little layer of pink behind there. Bring her over a little bit. So we don't want to lose the music. But then that just takes off that that bit there, doesn't it? Covers up that little bit of blank space. Okay. Yes, I like that. Let's do that. And then I'm going to put some, I should put some lace on this edge, on the outside edge, I think. But I'll probably do that after I've done the other side. So yeah, happy with that one. Oh, hang on, no, I've got something else I want to add on there. Because, where are we? No, wrong kit. Get the right one. On the Belay Do kit, I can't remember if they were, I think there might have been even freebies on their website. Or their website, the freebies are on their Ko-fi page, and all their kits are on their actual website. But I've just been printing off some words which came with it. Words and numbers, I think. So these are all, they're a bit blue. I don't know if I want blue or that one's. Let's see. Let's get my scissors and I like this, it's Daydream. I don't know if I want it in blue because I've got no blue on here. Got these little, let's see how this looks. This is some little numbers and there's some dates. I might use my other scissors. These are a bit clunky for these quite delicate things. Yeah, that's a softer colour. Pop that down there. 14th of February. Well, we know what that means. I think it's Valentine's Day, so it's all about love. But I don't think my journal is going to necessarily be kind of a love theme. Because these ladies that are reading books, they're not necessarily saying, I'm in love. They're just lovely images. And I'm going to put that there. That works nicely. Okay, that's the last thing I'm going to do on that one. Then on this one, where are we? We've got this lady here, so I'm going to tear her down a bit. Maybe I'll cut it with my decollage type scissors. I feel I want a bit of perhaps some plain pink paper. I wonder if I've got any avocado dyed scraps. I can use. I'll have a quick look because I quite like the idea of her being backed on some pink just to make her pop a little bit. I think that's a bit too bright. That's red. That's not pink. This isn't avocado paper, this is a digital scrap. I'm just wondering if the colour would work. I could just, maybe I'll just try that and see if it looks, think the cutler's not quite right, is it? It's a bit too modern looking, I think. Okay, I pulled in some avocado dyed paper because it'll go with other things as well. I think I quite like that there. Right. It's always handy to have some scraps of this anyway for backing tags and journal cards, which I'll probably use a lot of it for that. Tear this a little bit, give it that softer edge. And at the top. Oop. Try again. I think I might just snip those corners a little bit. Should use my little corner snipper, shouldn't I? Don't mind. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to glue that. But I'm going to just leave a little, tiny little bit at the edges in case I want to tuck anything behind, which I might do. Trying to anyway, try to leave a little bit of something so I can tuck in some, maybe some little bits of paper or something. Because I quite like to, oh, I've got a little, nice little piece here I can tuck in. Let's just put some ink on it. Now, have I left enough? Just peel that up a little bit. Peel them up a little bit more. It's just such a delicate little bit of paper. Why have I chosen such a delicate piece of paper to tuck in here? Yeah. Okay. Let's glue this all down before I get in too much of a mess. And there will be a little bit of lace going around here, so it won't be completely, it'll be covered up a little bit, but I quite like that little bit tucked in there. And I want to tuck something in down here. What can I find? These are some flower fussy cuts from Rachel Bella Craft's latest kit, Echoes of Nature, which I think she designed to somewhat coordinate with this kit. So I thought maybe some of the flowers from it would go quite well, because I've got the roses like in the background. That is what I need. I like that. So that's my hanging piece again. I just think I need to do a little bit of inking on this, because it's got quite a lot of white around the edges. Very delicate, this, but it was I managed to cut these flowers out on my Cricut Joy Explore. I think I had for Christmas. It doesn't always cut everything out but sometimes it doesn't always well, sometimes I don't think my printer quite prints things the way it needs to be, so that the Cricut can work with the digital, if you see what I mean. It needs to have a certain amount of room around the images to work, and sometimes my printer prints everything too high up to the top of the page. For some reason it doesn't quite print correctly, so it won't always cut. But it did cut these out very nicely, and they're very fiddly. So I'm happy with that, even if it just helps me out with some of the more complicated cutting out. I'm happy. So I can show you what I mean, actually. So I wanted to cut out these butterflies, and it has this guideline, these guidelines that the Cricut has to read, and it's printed them right at the top of the page. I don't know why it's done that, unless it's my setting. I've just had a thought. I have it set on borderless, and maybe that's why it's done it. I have to think about that. That might be the problem. I may have solved my problem why it does that, because it keeps printing things too near the top, and that might be because I've got it set at borderless. So I might need to do something about that. Okay. Thank you for helping me solve my possible issue with the Cricut. Just pop that down there. We're all down. Are we down here? Nope. Right, now I want to find some lace to wrap around the sides. Wrap around the outside. I'll be right back. Alright, I pulled out a few options. I'm just not sure what one I want to go with. I have got this pink, but it's a bit ragged on one side. I really wanted something that looks the same, it was kind of double-sided, so that there was no obvious back and front, but I'm not sure how that would look. But I like the colour. How would that look on that side? Does it matter that it's not completely... Actually, I do quite like that. That might be the one. That may well be the one. I'm just going to have a look at this one, which is more of a cream, and it is has more of a double-sided look to it, but it might not. It might be a bit too light, too pale. No, I do like the pink. I like the pink. I'm going to go with it. Going to go with the pink. I haven't got much left of this. I'm wondering whether to try using this. Quite a few people seem to say the Yoo-hoo is very good for gluing fabric and things, so I'm going to try it. Can always add a bit of it, a bit of art glitter glue to any bits that come unstuck, I suppose. Let's try that. Oh, I've still cut it too long, that's a shame. Don't like to do that when I'm running out, but maybe I'll pull it up because that's... I cut at a bit of an angle at the other end, so I won't have enough coverage on the other side if I use that end, so maybe that's a good thing. There we are. Seems to be holding. And this side. There we are. Oh, it's a little bit tall. So there we are. That's the envelope wraparound tuck. I love it. I do. I really do. Oh, I think I need a word on here though. Need one of these words or something. See, I could do a bit of blue on here. There is a little bit of blue in the background. Let's see. Oh, not with those. I'm going with nostalgia, I think. I think there's some more sheets of these words in other colours, or I think there may be a more neutral one, so I've got to need to print them all off. Don't need it to be quite as long as that, do I? Okay, so we'll just ink around that. And pop that on. I'm actually really pleased how well these two kits are going together. I hoped they would, but you're never sure when you buy them how well they'll actually coordinate with each other. Nostalgia. Pop that there. I think I've got a corner coming up here. I mean, I deliberately didn't glue to the corners, did I, to the edges? But so I need to just make sure they are glued now. All right, there we are, finished. I'm sorry we only got one done, but it was like doing two really, because they're two completely separate pieces of ephemera in a way. They're just joined in the middle. So yeah, I'm really pleased how that's turned out. I love it. I can't wait to work some more with these kits. So much fun. But the other kits for the other journal are also gorgeous. So much wonderful stuff to work with. It'll keep me happy for weeks and weeks. So I'll see you soon. Bye for now.